let's talk a little bit about whether you're a body or not. I mean, if you're a body, let's face it, your future's not looking too good. I don't care what vitamins you take, how far you jog, how well you take care of yourself. If you are a body, your future is, well, you're going to be pushing up daisies. Are you a body? Have you ever had an out-of-body experience? A lot of people have. A lot of people on the operating table report floating around up in the ceiling somewhere, looking down on their own operation, listening to the doctors. It's a common experience. If that's you floating outside of your body, if that's you having the out-of-body experiencing, looking back at your body, then you are obviously not a body. Actually, you know, when you look at your belief systems, most of you do not believe that you are a body. Most of you believe that you're going to go to heaven, or you're going to go to hell, or you're going to reincarnate after your body dies. Now, if you stop and think about that for a minute, if you're still going places and you're still doing things after your body dies, then you're not a body after your body dies. And if you're not a body after your body dies, then you're probably not a body now. And if you're not a body now, then why is it that you think that you are bound by its limitations? Why do you think that you have to stay contained in there, limited by its littleness? You don't. You're not a body. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this strange idea called death. I've had some experiences with death. In 1988, my second wife died. It was a painful time for me. It was a sad time. An aneurysm burst in her head, and she fell off of her bicycle, taken to the hospital by ambulance. She was in a coma. She stayed in a coma for 10 days. The doctors made it very clear that there was no way she could survive. So having had some hospice volunteer experience, I sat by her bed for 10 days. I gave her permission to die. It's important when somebody is leaving that you give them permission. Don't try to hold them in that body. When it's time to go, it's time to drop the body. But I had also been raised in the Eastern tradition. I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I read the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So for those 10 days that I sat there by her bedside, I kept telling her, go to the light. Go to the light. In the Eastern tradition, what you want to do is you want to get off of this wheel of birth and death. You don't want to have to come back here anymore. And the moment of death is considered to be an opportunity. A window of opportunity occurs at the moment of death, according to many Eastern traditions. And if you will focus on just going to the light and not let anything distract you, just go to the light, then you can take advantage of this window of opportunity at the moment of death and finally, for once and for all, get off of the wheel of birth and death. And so I sat there for 10 days by her bedside and I told her, go to the light. After she passed away, I was in deep, deep despair, deep depression, a very painful grieving process. Strange things kept happening in our apartment. The television kept going on while the on-off knob was in the off position. I had to unplug it to turn it off. The radio did the same thing. Strange things happening. 11 months after she passed away, I went and I was really sinking into despair on this particular day. And I went and had my blood cholesterol checked. I was walking by a Long's drugstore and they were having $7 to get your cholesterol checked. So I thought, what the heck? So I went and got my cholesterol checked. The numbers were so high, the doctor and the nurses there said, your life is in danger. You'd better go see a doctor right away. And that didn't help my depression any. That evening I got together with a friend, and my friend suggested, you know, it's time for us to try to contact your wife. Her name was Carol, the one who passed away, my second wife. So I sat, we agreed this was a good idea, so I sat, I got very still, and I had a really amazing experience. I found that there was a door in my own mind, not separate from my mind. There was a door in my mind that I could open. And there was Carol mind, not separate from my mind, but very distinctly Carol mind. And I could talk to her, and I could ask her questions, and she answered my questions. And we had a lovely talk for a couple of hours. And one of the things that I asked her, did you hear me telling you to go to the light? She said, go to the light yourself. She had a lovely sense of humor. Very distinctly Carol mind. She said, go to the light yourself. And then she went on to explain to me that this moment of death, this window of opportunity, is what we humans are going through now. This incarnation, this that you call your life, is actually your moment of death. You don't get any deader than this. You're using a very small percentage of your neurological capacity. We are the dead ones. When Jesus said, I have come to heal the sick and raise the dead, he's talking about you. We are the dead ones. You don't get any deader than this, and this incarnation is your window of opportunity. Don't let anything distract you. Don't focus on the form. Don't get distracted. In China, they have an ancient Chinese curse that says, may you be born in an interesting time. That way you'll be too distracted. What I'm telling you is stop focusing on the form. This world holds nothing that you want. Focus on the light. Focus on the light beyond the form. Beyond this world is a world that you want. It's a world of light. Don't be distracted by this world. A couple of weeks after I had this wonderful talk with Carol, and by the way, I was feeling much better after I talked to her and I found out she was okay. I said, I thought you died. She said, I didn't die. There's no death. You can't die. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, I went in, saw the same doctor and nurses, had my cholesterol checked again. My cholesterol was normal. I hadn't done anything. I just changed my mind. Oh, and Carol explained that to me, too. She said that when she had died, I was so unhappy that I decided I wanted to die, too. And we had a meeting in the upper chamber, and all of my contingency agreed that after a year, if I still felt that way, if I still wanted to leave, then I could die. And so with this blood cholesterol thing, I was actually fixing to die. I was actually fixing to drop the bod. I was going to do it on the anniversary date of her death. We do that a lot. Death is a decision. No one dies except by their own decision. If the insurance companies knew that, they wouldn't pay out any life insurance claims because all death is suicide. Death is a decision. But you can't die because you're not a body. So I asked her, shall I go ahead and die so that we can be closer together? She said, don't be silly. We couldn't possibly be any closer together than we are now. We are one. The sonship is one. So my blood cholesterol was normal, and the despair was gone. You are not a body. There is no death.